You're listening to STP Radio.
Hi, I'm JeanAnn Harrison, and welcome to STP Radio. And we are preparing for STPCon coming up in November. And today I am asking a few questions to some of our speakers that will be sharing information about their sessions. So first up is Jay Phillips. She is the CEO of Project Realms and TeamQualityPro. Welcome to today's interview.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Jay and I are combining our knowledge and experience in presenting a session. Jay, you want to tell us what it is?
Sure. The session that you and I are actually speaking on for STPCon is about the purple standard for testing. And for people that don't know me very well or know of me, there's this thing with purple in me, and I'm kind of big about pushing the purple standards over, the gold standard.
Well, purple means royalty. So I feel that it's higher standard than gold at any rate. So we always want to strive to the purple standard. So now what distinguishes the purple standard from the gold standard?
Really more of a higher up, because, we don't want to give it all away because we want people to come to the session. The gold session to me really is just trying to get things done off of a checklist just to get by and say, oh, I did my testing. A purple standard, because you're being higher up and, putting in more value and a lot more expectations are met. I'm not saying that every little thing has to be done, meaning every single documentation, but there's certain things that, we would do at a purple standard a little bit better and more crisp and clearer for not only the current project you're on, but also upcoming projects and even training, your next coming resources.
Well, I also feel that we want to reach a higher level of test coverage as well to get that, or to reach that level of quality that not many companies can reach because they're very much in a rush. We've got this agile methodology that's out there and so many misinterpretations of what it actually means. So there are times where you don't even reach the gold standard because you're rushing, trying to meet the deadline of the project. So we are going to share a lot of information regarding how to reach the better defect writing, better defect report writing, I should say, and how we go about helping the development team, how to pinpoint where the bugs are. Jay, what kinds of things do you think that we can really extend from our experience? What do you think we can do as far as our audience is concerned regarding strategies?
I think one of our main things that we can help others do is, for instance, taking the different types of testing and actually giving examples of how they, testers can actually find things a little bit better. And I'm not saying that testers aren't finding things today. It's just, more examples of what they can look for. And right. I know, for instance, performance testing, what kind of, it's not just performance testing. There's multiple things within performance for like load and stress instead of just lumping it all into one.
The idea of trying to get people to understand the definitions of what these terms mean. I get too many people, and I know that there are many others that misinterpret performance testing and mislabel it. A lot of your management teams, they hear the term performance, but they don't understand the meaning. So maybe we can extend the definitions with specific examples that they'll understand. So hopefully we'll get people attending that may not necessarily be actual testers, but maybe management level that can also learn from what we can share with people from our vast experience.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that, because one of the biggest issues that I keep running into is people that have a totally different concept of a definition, even though it's the same term, but it means something totally different in their mind.
We'll be talking about tools, and we'll be talking about how to use them, when to use them. I think a lot of people nowadays tend to be too anxious to implement tools and not really understand when to use them or why to use them. And talk a little bit about that, maybe.
Sure. One of the big things that I think on a tools perspective is there's no one tool that fits all. No matter what salesperson tells you that, it's never true. It really is more of, finding out what your needs are, not only for today, but also tomorrow and in the future, because that's really what your tool base is going to be based on. And so one of the big things that we're, part of our presentation is, we're not listing the actual tools because, of course, everybody needs to determine which tool is going to fit for them, but it's actually showing kind of what pieces you need to look for. So for instance, a test tracking tool. Most testers have to use a test tracking tool, but does it actually have all the fields that you need to track in order to meet your business requirements? And, is it really accessible to everybody? And the big thing that I've always run into is the customizations. So that's something that we are showing within our presentation is the different kinds of tools from the tool type and kind of what to look for within those tools in order to implement it.
And I'm just going to throw something out there. There are many tools that can be customized. And if they are, and you're working in a regulated environment, you do need to test those tools to meet regulations. A lot of times people misunderstand with customization that, it's already a commercial tool. It's been tested, but it hasn't been tested with your customizations. So we'll talk a little bit about the differences between working in a regulated and non-regulated environment, touching on it briefly. But I think that it's important to distinguish between the two different environments.
Yes, and I agree. And I think what's really good about our session is that it's not specific to just one type of tester, meaning it's not just for manual testers versus automation testers. It's really for everybody and not just the tester themselves, but anybody who's got stake in the project.
Absolutely. And I encourage that oftentimes with people that I speak to, clients and managers, is that people have to understand that tools are there for a specific reason and not just to, let's just do automation. I hear you use the term, one tool does not fit all, one size does not fit all. I say it all the time. But unfortunately, our industry has turned into, we have to implement tools, whether or not it's test automation or whether or not it's, like you brought up, test tracking. A lot of times people are just putting in tools because it makes people feel good. So we want to make sure that we cover, and we will cover, when to use the tools for what purpose. I think too many times people just jump in.
Oh, I totally agree.
This is the second time we've done a conference session together, and not with STP, but the second time we've done one together. And you and I both done several different sessions at different conferences. And what keeps you coming back to STPCon?
Personally, I like STPCon mainly for, the people that attended and a lot of the sessions itself, because, being within the field for quite a long time, I know not as long as you have, but pretty much for half my life I've been in the field, I'm still always learning something new. So the sessions are great in order to, still be able to pick up what's still going on or what's coming. Because you always have to be available to, have an open mind and be willing to learn. And so it's nice that you can have sessions where you're constantly learning something new.
There's a wide variety of sessions, I think, at STPCon, more so than other conferences I've been to. It's not only a wide variety of topics, but wide variety of levels. So you can get a session for a beginner, you can get a session for intermediate testers, and those of us testers who have been around for a long, long time, I still learn. And not only that, but you said the attendees, the people that attend. It's absolutely true, because I've learned so much in informal conversations. So many times people do not interact socially. And I strongly recommend this because, yeah, sure, I love to party too, but to be honest. But I also love to have the kinds of conversations that I can't always have with testers I work with. They're just not as passionate about testing and learning as I am. And when I go to these conferences, I get that feedback. I get that interaction. I get the people who choose to attend end up being just as passionate. And I enjoy the attendees that tend to come to STPCon.
Yeah, and I like it because it is more levels. For instance, I've been to other conferences where, it's really just the worker bees that are only on, doing the actual physical work, but not doing the planning or the higher up work, where most of the time, as you know, with my projects, I'm not just the worker bee, I'm a lot more higher up on the project. So I look for sessions that I can actually relate to, but also at the same time seeing what everyone else is doing, what they're going to bring to the table.
Right.
So that's one reason why I think STPCon is a really good conference for really anybody.
Yes. I agree. I that's one of the reasons why I liked it from the very first time I attended, was the different levels of expertise, and also, horizontally as well as vertically. I like, project management people show up, and even developers I've met. And I just think that's fantastic that you can have the cross department teams come. And really, this is where we get to learn from one another, because we're in a relaxed situation. And STPCon really is that relaxation. But I also really enjoy the speed geeking. At lunchtime, one of the days, they'll have a few speakers that will share something within 5 minutes, and it's just like a 5-minute session after lunch, and share a little bit of some strategies. And I met a couple of developers in the speed geeking, and I remember, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was just, I came out of there going, wow, that was really cool. And it gave me a new perspective. And as you know, software testers need a different perspective each time. So that distinguishes it from STPCon from other conferences.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. I saw those kinds of things too, which is nice. So I hope that it continues to grow like that.
Yes, agreed. Okay, well, I guess what we would like to do now is to introduce our second speaker. And Mark Tomlinson, thank you for joining us. You are a performance engineer, and I was very careful not to say just performance tester. You've been around the block several times, and I would like for you to tell us a little bit about yourself, because you've been involved with STP for a few years now, and have done many different things, including the infamous Perf Bites radio show, which I happen to love. And I hope you and James are doing another live version this coming November.
We will be doing another live Perf Bites episode. This will be the third time we've done it. And, it's performance testing is not for everybody. And particularly podcasting sometimes, it can be, people have no idea what to expect. But usually I think if we bring along, like if there's free beer, everyone shows up no matter what. So, we'll be doing that again, and it should be really exciting. But it's great to chat with you about the upcoming conference, because there are so many great things coming with this particular conference. So it's pretty good. And it's nice to say hi to Jay as well. Jay, how are you?
Hi, Mark. Awesome to talk to you again. How have you been?
Yes, I'm very good. I'll send you a few more pictures of purple houses if I find them.
That's awesome. I love those. You can never run out of purple photos.
Yes.
Mark, tell us, can you join in on that conversation with Jay about why you enjoy STPCon over other conferences? What makes it special for you?
Well, any conference that allows you to have a little longer conversation with key people, and I hate the word key, but it's somebody who's important to you or can help you get to the next level. You mentioned that there's a diversity of levels of content. You'll talk from anyone who's like a VP of quality, a QA manager, a dev manager, all the way down to individual developers or testers, automated testers and such. And I find the spirit of the STP community is mostly, it is, we take ourselves seriously as professionals, and a lot of what I think makes testers really succeed in their careers, or getting better at what they do, is finding a mentor and finding someone who can help you get to that next level. So one of the things I'm doing, and following on from what we did last year, or earlier in the year, is doing not only the presenter mentoring, but also helping people to make those connections, to find other people who can help them learn how to get to the next level. Like our good friend Mike Lyles, who is going to take on more performance and automation work in his new role. And so I've been mentoring him a little bit on the side, and it's been really fun.
Talking about Mike Lyles, he's been a really interesting guy to